Hello, welcome to Narrowboat Lane. There's not been a lot going on. Let me just get that light out of the way. There we go. There's not been a lot going on, so hence the lateness of me posting this week. But since I did the new storage solutions in the kitchen, i.e. the worktop and the side cupboard, we could really do with an electric socket over this side of the kitchen, because at the moment we've got none. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, come and have a look, see what I'm doing. Right then, first of all, obviously it goes without saying that if you don't know what you're doing, then get a qualified electrician. I've been doing my own electrical stuff for years, so for me it's pretty much as simple as wiring a plug. Obviously always make sure that your electric's completely disconnected, that you've got no power to anything. Always worth a test before you start. Right then, back of the boat, that's where the electric comes in. And there's a feed line that comes all the way down under the gunnels, and it goes down to that one and only socket that's in here, which feeds the TV. Doesn't it, Henry? Yeah, so all I've done is I've essentially, made sure the electric's off, snipped that feed line in half. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to splice that into this socket that I bought, this double socket, which will be hidden up behind here like that, so we're not going to really see it. I did want a white plastic one because plastic's plastic, I know, but I think it just looks a little bit better. But my local shop didn't have one, and I couldn't be bothered to go and search for one or get one off eBay. But that'd probably be your best idea if you wanted to have something that looked a little bit fancier. But with this being up here out of the way, you're not going to see it anyway, especially once the kettle's in front of it, because I guess that's what Mags wants it for. But yeah, so as always, still waiting for my tripod from China, so I'm doing this single-handedly. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna connect both live and both neutral and both earths into the back of the socket, put the socket on the wall, and that's essentially it. There's not a great deal to this. So right, I'll catch you in a little while. Hang on a sec. Here we are then, all back, all done and dusted. My phone's plugged in and charging, which is great. Yeah, really simple job for me. That's took me no more than 10 minutes. But like I say, I know what I'm doing. I'm not a qualified electrician, but I'm confident enough in my capabilities to get this job done safely and securely. Obviously, what I would say is that if you're completely unskilled, never done it before, at least get a friend. I mean, you certainly don't need to be paying an electrician at stupid money to come and do it for you, but certainly there's you're bound to know somebody who is up to speed with how to do it. I mean, it really is a simple job. It's just a simple case of cutting through the main feed, like I've shown you, and then connecting both sets of cables to the back of the socket. It's really that simple. But like I say, it's not worth it. Not with 240 volts going through there. You know, if you do get it wrong, if you do something silly like leaving the lecky on or anything daft like that, a little oversight, you know, you're going to know about it. It's no mucking about when it comes to the 240. But like I say, that said, I still don't see, and as you know with our channel, we're all about not paying the man. You know, do it yourself. And with a Sparky charging, the sky's the limit to come out and do silly little jobs like this. You know, it is worth doing yourself. But like I say, if you've got no experience in doing it, by all means, I'd certainly recommend you get somebody who does know what they're doing, just to show you. Like I say, it's not a massive job. That's cost me $8.99 for the socket, which I say isn't the best sort of socket. It's certainly not beautiful. What I did want is I wanted one of those sockets with the USB ports on them. And for an extra couple of quid, I thought that was the way to go. However, because my patience isn't the strongest point of my character. The shop where I went to the range, and the sockets that they had for sale with the USBs didn't have the correct backing plate. All the backing plates they had was to go into plasterboard, and as you know, on a boat, that's not something that you've got. I mean, I could have cut it out and fitted it in here with that backing plate, but the point of me having or utilising these barge boards, as I call them, is I wanted it out the way a little bit. You know, I don't want sockets all over the wall. So I decided to grab that one rather than driving around Coventry looking for... I mean, I could have gone to B&Q, but then you know how much they charge. And that's not going to fit in with my brain. So yeah, so £8.99 for the socket. I did buy some cable, just because whoever fitted the electrics on the boat, or whoever fitted that electric run on the boat, any sparky will tell you that's worth his salt, that when you're running cable, you're better off leaving little spools here and there so that you've got that extra length should you need to pull it back for any reason. It looks like this cable, when it was fitted, has been, you know, tightened to both ends, so I had no place, so I had to do a little extension from both ends of the cable that I cut to be able to reach into the back of the socket. But that, you know, so I bought some cable that cost me £2. The socket cost me £8.99, and what else did I buy? Oh, I bought some insulation tape just to make it a nice neat job. That was a couple of quid, so a tenner. So yeah, if you were to pay a sparky to come out and fit it, even if you supplied him with the parts, I guarantee you'd be paying a lot more than that. So that's that little job done. I have got something else to show you, which is going to take all of about 3 seconds, so bear with me. Right then, here we are in the bedroom. When the bed was the other way around, I bought one of these little pine corner shelves that you just attach with a couple of screws. Handy for my cups of tea. We moved the bed round. Obviously, I could have just moved that shelf over, but in the meantime, Mag's commandeered the shelves for these adorable teddy bears. So now I've got nowhere for my cup of tea. I've gone and bought another one, so I thought I'd show you how easy it is to fit these bloody things. Right, 2 secs. Tools you need for this job is one pine shelf from the range, comes with its own screws. I think that was £2. A roll of tape. I'm not taping it to the wall, but that all will become clear. And a cordless screwdriver, because, well, just because I've got one, you can use a manual. Right, dead simple. First of all, as you know, on a boat, there's no point using spirit levels because you're all over the place. So what you want to do is just eye it in to roughly where you want it. Obviously, my head's underneath here overnight time, so I don't want it too low. But if we stick to the same sort of level, the bigger shelf's not going to really give me a lot of room in there, so I'm going to drop it down a little bit. I'm not bothered about symmetry. So we're looking at about there. Right. That little notch there holds a screw which goes into the wall around here, and then you have those 3 screws which sit in there, and then you just push it on and it just sits on top. Sorry, let me do that again. So the 3 screws are in the wall, so you push it on and then it sits down onto the screw that's holding in there. They're not designed to take a lot of weight, but they're certainly plenty strong enough to hold a cup of tea or your phone, or, you know, something silly like that. Well, there's a really simple way of lining up the holes. What you could do is you could get your measuring tape out. You could measure from the end of the wall to the end of the shelf, then measure the distance between the holes. There's a much simpler way of doing that. If you give me 2 seconds, I'll show you. Hang on a sec. Right then, this is going to be really tricky one-handed, but I'm fed up with just talking about the jobs I do. I want to show you one. So this is a nice simple one. Right, roll of tape. You wondered what that was for, didn't you? Probably not. There's those amongst you that are more than handy with DIY jobs, I think. Right, already my one-handed job's falling foul. Hang on a second. There we go. Welcome back. So what I've done is I've put a piece of tape, ripped it to the end on both sides. Obviously that goes into the corner, so the true edge is just there. Right, now with said pen, there's going to be some of you saying, what's new about this? I've done it a million times, but I learnt this trick a few years back. And then you put a little dot there, because you can see where the holes are, look, through the tape. I don't know whether you can get that, see? another little dot there, and the final one there. Right, then all it is just a simple case of, put the top back on the pen before I get pen all over Mags's duvet. Right, it's just a simple case of tearing that off, attaching it to the wall about where you want it, which is for me about there, and then that gives you your 3 spots where you want your screws. Simple as. This next bit I can't do single-handed, so you'll have to bear with me. Hang on a sec. There you go, that's the screws attached. Then just rip the tape off, and your screws should be, this is where it all falls horribly flat and I look silly. It all depends, of course, whether you put the screws in straight in the first place, which I don't look like I have. Oh, it's so hard one-handed. I'm going to have to do this and talk about it. Hang on a sec. Go. So that's the shelf all lined up. Obviously, being wonky ain't going to work. So then you just fix it with that screw there. As you can tell by the wallpaper being removed, I've just got extremely frustrated with this little job and ended up ripping the wallpaper off, which isn't no bad thing because I need to do it for when I decorate. But yeah, so there you go. Nice little simple shelf. £2 that cost. Comes with everything you need to fit it, apart from the tape and the pen, obviously. But I had some of that knocking about. You're going to have some of that spare, I should imagine, knocking around your boat. Yeah, so there you go. Nice little easy job. Yeah, so there you go. A couple of nice simple jobs. It's still saving you a bit of dosh. I mean, obviously the shelf is just a shelf. You know what I mean? You know, you're going to pay for a shelf anyway. I suppose you could pay for somebody to come and fit a shelf, but really, I don't think that's a worthwhile job to be on the money saving channel, as this is fast turning into. The electric socket, on the other hand, like I say, as long as you know what you're doing, it really is worth doing it yourself. Simple jobs like that, but with 240 volt, please. I can't stipulate enough. Be very careful what you're doing. Yeah, so there you go. A nice, quick, simple couple of jobs. Been a bit frustrating this week as I haven't had the money to do things that I want to do. I want to replace the carpets. I want to start getting cracking on with decorating the bedroom. Patience isn't my strong point, but we've had some big bills going out, so we haven't had the spare funds to be doing extra bits and bobs, as we're not millionaires. So their job's still to come. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, this weekend we might be taking a trip over to Dudley, where there's a boat festival on. So that'd be nice to go and grab some fresh air, get out the boat for a while, because neither of us have been very well just lately. Got the lurgy. So yeah, so that's coming up. And then we're gonna the couple of weeks after that is my bill week. So money's going to be a bit tight again, but then it's going to be full steam ahead on Project Bedroom, so stay tuned for that. A quick thank you to my new subscribers and also my existing subscribers, obviously, but yeah, my new subscribers for joining us. Yeah, it's lovely to have you with us, and seeing what we're up to. As always, I read your comments, so any comments you like to make, whether you're calling me a buffoon or coming up with suggestions that I can save even more money. And also, I'd like to know, you know, what you guys are up to. You know, have you been quoted ridiculous prices for simple jobs, and you've tackled yourself and can't seem to figure out where the money goes for these guys to come and do it? You know, little money saving jobs that you've been having a bash at yourself. I'd like to see what you guys are up to. So, you know, please feel free to tell me all about it. Be nice to hear from you. Right then, guys, rambling on. I will see you shortly with our trip to Bumble Hole, I think it's called. Don't ask me. Yeah, see you soon. Cheers, guys.